You have to realize is there's three sides to this. You have the person that's passing away and the family that's grieving. You have somebody that's rejoicing in their family, that are rejoicing that they finally have the organs. And the third family, the family that the person that's waiting on the list and didn't get those organs because they were next in line. I was born with a rare congenital heart condition called tricuspid atresia. I was born the color purple, and they didn't think I would make it even past the first day or the few hours. I had my first open heart surgery at 3 days old, and then 3 years old. And then my final one was 19 years old in 2006. After each time, the doctors would tell my parents it doesn't look good. I would start making arrangements, stuff like that it didn't sound like it was going to work. After the April 2006 open heart surgery, I was left with only the left side of my heart and a pacemaker in my abdomen, doing all of the work 100% of the time. I was doing better, but still not the greatest. And it worked for 15, 16 years. 2021, 22, I would say, I had a medical procedure done at one of our local hospitals, and I got an infection. I was almost septic while I did it. When it happened, by the time I made it to Columbia Presbyterian, they saved me, as always. And God saved me, as always, to make it to Columbia just in time. That's when we really started discussing, for the second time in my life, of having a transplant. I was too sick then to get the transplant, and we waited about a year or so, and follow-ups, visits, and whatnot. They started talking seriously about still putting me on it. They were afraid that if I had gotten sick again, if another infection attacked my liver again or attacked my heart again, I wouldn't make it. That there was no other heart procedures they could do to make my own heart survive. And then when they started talking about transplant to me, I almost wanted to say no, because I didn't want to go through the pains again. I know what pain was like after my last open hearts. And I didn't want to do the struggle. And I also very much did not want to know that somebody had to die for me in order for me to get organs, to get a heart. The heart's the only organ that you can't really take from somebody that's living. What you have to realize is there's three sides to this. You have the person that's passing away and the family that's grieving. You have somebody that's rejoicing in their family, that are rejoicing that they finally have the organs. And the third family, the family that the person that's waiting on the list and didn't get those organs because they were next in line. I agreed, yes, and I went through all of the transplant evaluations, which took forever and a day, it seemed like, and a lot of time in the hospital, which I hate. And I mean, absolutely hate. And I was listed July of 2022, last year. A few weeks earlier, we had a conversation with the cardiac transplant team, and they said it could take up to 4 years for me to get my organs because I needed a heart and a liver. And because with my type of heart condition, it brings cirrhosis to the liver naturally with the way that my blood flows, opposite of everybody else's. And they were telling me things that I didn't want to hear, like complications, 3 months in the hospital recovering just from that, a month alone of being on the ventilator in the ICU. And I didn't like that I was going to have to relearn how to walk and talk and all of that. And I was very scared. I was excited to get the call the day after my husband's 40th birthday. I really couldn't believe it. I let the house phone ring because I just sat down to eat, and I figured it was Spectrum trying to call me to sell me Spectrum. And then my cell phone rang, and I picked up, and they said, "Hello, is this Heather?" And I said, "Yes, it is. This is so-and-so from Colombia. We have organs that match you." Next thing I know, a few hours later, we were heading down to go get organs. Well, I got the organs. They were a perfect match. They had Hep C. They were Hep C positive organs. There's medication to treat that. Within a month, I was negative for Hep C. My organs were Hep C negative, and they have been since. And I finished the medication for it. I wasn't in the hospital for 3 months, and I wasn't even intubated, really. I was out within 2.5 weeks, walking and ready to go. And I look forward to seeing where God brings me to tell his story. I'm starting to believe that part of his plan for me is to talk to him, talk to people more about him, and let them realize that even through the hard times, even times when it doesn't look like it's going to happen, like your loved one or your child or whomever is not going to survive, he's there. He has a plan. You just need to pray to him. You need to talk to him, and you need to listen. That's what you need to do.